What's cracking, folks? The Combat Conversation is back. I'm Mitchell Torres, and on this episode, we are joined by Chad Bingham, the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu coach at UFC Rocklin. We talk a little bit about everything, growing up in the South, moving to California, what's going on in the sky. So we're all over the place. I hope you guys enjoy it, because I sure did. Thank you, Chad. We are back to Combat Conversation. Mitchell Torres with Chad Bingham. What's going on, Chad?
Oh, what's up, man? Just coming by to have a Friday night fireside chat with you, brother.
Thank you, man. Appreciate that. Running around all day.
All day, man. Teaching jiu-jitsu all day long, training, getting my ass kicked by Dustin Akbari,
Man.
you know.
So let me just get the basics of everything, because a lot of people ask me questions they wanted to ask you, and they want to know what got you into training in the first place.
So I'm like, the typical story is when I was like, 15, 16, I started watching UFC and all that stuff. I think the first one I watched was UFC 8 with Tito Ortiz versus Jerry Bolander.
Okay.
I became a big Tito Ortiz fan.
All right.
Right? Got into MMA that way. And then I had a friend of mine who was also really big into MMA, and he got me, drug me down to a local jiu-jitsu gym.
How old are you?
I'm 33.
How old were you at the time?
At the time, I was probably, so I didn't actually start training jiu-jitsu until I was 22.
Okay.
So I got into MMA and all that stuff when I was like 16 or 17 and just watched it hardcore, probably 4 or 5 years. And then finally my buddy and I, Travis, decided that we were going to go sign up for some Muay Thai and some jiu-jitsu classes. And we had a gym in Greenville, South Carolina called Alliance Jiu-Jitsu and Militich Fighting Systems.
Jacare Black Belt.
Jacare Black Belt, right? So, well, at the time, the guy that runs the school, his name is Billy Fletcher.
Okay.
He was actually a purple belt. And he trained with Pat Militich.
Okay.
When all those guys were on, when Matt Hughes was the champion and Tim Sylvia and all those guys. And he would train with Jacare in Atlanta, right? Because Greenville's about 2.5 hours from Atlanta.
Yeah. I was in Atlanta for a little bit, and I went to the Alliance Gym there a couple times and checked it out.
Yeah, it's full of killers, man.
Yeah, it is deep.
Yeah.
So before you signing up and doing all that stuff, was there an urge inside of you to like get your hands dirty, I guess?
Yeah, I think so, man. I was your typical young idiot, like where I thought I was already tough and could already fight, So, I wanted to do it, but I thought that I was already a tough guy.
Right.
Until I went in there and this old man strangled the hell out of me, And I'm like, okay, that was cool, man. I got to figure out how to do that. And, the rest is history, man. I fell in love with it like immediately, and just really never stopped training.
So did the MMA and the grappling go together, or was it?
So my initial goal was to fight MMA.
Okay.
Right. I did a little bit of Muay Thai and wrestling and jiu-jitsu and all that stuff, but then I did my first jiu-jitsu gi competition as a white belt maybe 6 months in, and after that I forgot all about everything else.
That happens to a lot of people, because that's what happened to me. I was training mixed martial arts in the beginning, and until I went to a real jiu-jitsu school and I got my ass handed to me, then I got obsessed with grappling.
You get hooked, man.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, you go with somebody with a good deep game, and you realize how nuanced it is.
Right.
And so, not to say that the MMA guys don't have a nuanced game, that a lot of them have good jiu-jitsu, but it's just a different feel. You go with a good jiu-jitsu guy, like a pure jiu-jitsu guy, versus a guy who's got good jiu-jitsu for MMA, it's a different thing.
Oh yeah, it is. That's crazy. So you started out 6 months before you did your first tournament?
Yeah, I was probably training 6 months when I did my first tournament. I went and did a Naga.
Okay.
I think I got second place.
Wow.
I think, yeah. So it was good.
And now you're just all around competitor at every tournament.
Love it. I love
That's
it.
crazy.
I try to compete as much as possible.
Any difference in training in South Carolina compared to moving down here and training?
Yeah, so the biggest difference is not, so the quality is, there's a lot of good quality here. Whereas in South Carolina, we had not as much. We had just a few gyms, but we had really high quality.
Right.
We had the gym that I came from, on any given day, you had, 8 to 10 black belts on the mat and just an army of guys because it had been there forever. As far as the quality, no difference, right? Good guys everywhere. But there's more jiu-jitsu here.
Yeah.
Right. The difference that I have in training here is, since I teach at night, like we were talking about before the podcast, is I don't have the opportunity to get a lot of good gi training in, because I'm teaching when all those gi classes are going on, and I've got a bunch of white belts, that I'm trying to bring up. So that's stuff I suffer for that,
So you're your last few competitions, they've been gi and no gi.
Yeah.
Which one do you favor?
Oh, man, I love the gi.
You love the gi?
Okay, so I love both, like, equally as far as training, but I love to compete in the gi.
Okay.
You know, I feel like I'm better in the gi, and I just like the game better. You
But
know?
that's so cool. I mean, you switch back and forth like nothing.
Yeah,
you
I mean,
know?
I love it, man. And especially being out here, I've trained a lot more no-gi because the only guy that I'm really consistently training hard with is Dustin Akbari.
Yeah, that guy's a beast.
And he is a beast, but he'll only go no-gi, right?
Yeah.
Now, to his credit, I've never asked him to put the gi on, right? But he's a no-gi guy, you know? So I've been training a lot of no-gi with him. It's really upped my heel hook defense. Man, it was a shock when I first moved here.
Yeah.
You know, like I'd played some heel hook game and some leg lock games with some guys, but nothing like Dustin, right? And man, it used to be, and still sometimes in a 30-minute session, he'll hook me 10 times.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, I watch you guys roll, and I mean, I see the way you compete. It's like so fast paced, man. It's like, and for me, because I'm an older dude, I'm slow. It's like, man, how do you keep pushing yourself to continue at that pace?
Sure.
Is it a breathing thing? Is it just, what is that?
Well, so I'll tell you my strategy. I like to keep a high pace in the beginning, okay? Until I get an advantageous position. Once I pass your guard, everything slows down.
Okay.
Right? After that, it's like I'm trying to just make you make mistakes, you know. But until I get that, like until let's say I pull guard, okay, I'm going to go with everything I've got until I get my sweep or my submission. Or if I'm trying to pass, I'm going to give it everything I got until I get there. But then as soon as I get that little bit of advantage, I try to like lock everything down and slow down as much as possible, you know, to make the other guy, one, make him tired, right? Make him work. And, you know, two, I'm in the good spot, right?
Yeah.
If I pass your guard or if I mount or something like this, like.
So you just want to set the pace and try to keep up with it.
Yeah, and also it's, you know, for me, it's about making your opponent make a mistake. You know, if, let's say I'm passing the guard, right? If I'm constantly switching sides and constantly threatening, like I feel like I'm going to catch the guy making a mistake, right? Just because you're throwing more at him than he can deal with,
right?
You know? I mean, some guys will, you know, whatever, but typically you'll catch the guy slipping like that, right? And then, like I said, as soon as you catch him slipping and get that little hole, man, you just stop everything, right? Time stops, and you try to grind him out from there. You know.
So, do you do any extra like cardio wise to make? Because I'm serious, I'm really impressed with how your movement. I'm like, man, this guy's crazy. You know?
No, I don't, man. I used to do a lot of CrossFit and a lot of cross training, things like that. But since I moved out here, I teach so much that I haven't had a chance to, man. I honestly haven't. In fact, I did my first lift in like probably 5 months tonight.
Wow. Oh, wow.
Yeah, and that's because I saw Uriah Faber this morning. He told me I was looking skinny, so I had to hit the weights a little bit today.
What weight are you competing at?
So right now I'm walking around about 153.
Oh shit,
so
you're ready to go at any weight.
Yeah, I usually walk around about 165. So when I compete, it's usually in the gi, it's 168 with the gi. And with no gi, I think it's 163, something like that. So I never cut weight. I'm always the little guy in the lightweight division. Yeah.
Damn it, that's crazy, dude. Yeah, because you don't look small though, you know.
Yeah, so I'm long for a lightweight.
Okay.
Right? I'm like 6 foot tall, but I'm skinny, man. I'm a skinny kid.
That, like my problem is even at because I compete at like 181 pounds with the gi on.
Yep.
And everybody's so damn taller than me. And to me, that's like, I'd rather kind of go against someone that's a little bit smaller than taller, you know?
Sure. Yeah, long guys are tough, man.
And at 150, and you're 6 foot?
Yeah, I'm about 6 foot.
Oh, dude, you're the nightmare.
Yeah. So, you know, in my weight class I should be is featherweight. I should be at 154 because, I mean, like I said, right now I'm walking around at like 153. I could cut 5 pounds and get down to feather. And I would be a giant featherweight, right? But I hate cutting weight.
So, when you were you were born and raised in South Carolina?
Greenville, South Carolina.
Nice.
My whole life. This is the first time, as of last October, is the first time I've ever lived anywhere else.
Yeah. I remember you I think it was the San Jose fight when I seen you, I'm like, who's this guy, you know? And then, so I mean, because I'm obsessed with the sport, you know, so I started looking into things. So I'm like, oh, this dude's freaking legit, especially seeing that you're from Alliance Gym. Yeah. Because when I was in Georgia, I lived in Georgia for a few months, so I trained with a dude named Philippe Gentry. He was
I know Philippe, man. I've competed against him. We trained together for years, and I competed against him one time at brown belt. Good dude.
Yeah, he's good. He's a Jock Ray black belt too. Yeah. So, I was down there for a little bit, and man. So when I moved down there, I wasn't really sure what to make of jiu-jitsu and South. Plus, I was so out of shape. I was like embarrassed. Yeah. And I go, I need to find a gym, and I seen that Philippe was there, and he was a Alliance guy. So started training over there, and they actually jump-started me back into training because I took hiatus off, man, and I got fat. And then, I got so fat, it was hard for me to get back into it. But I was really impressed with their training methods. I'm like, because, you know, I've never been anywhere else besides California.
Sure.
And when I got there, I was like, let's see how this works. Kind of hoping that it'd be smooth sailing.
Yeah.
I was man. I was in Epsom salt bath
Yeah,
for
yeah.
weeks. And
Yeah, man, that Alliance headquarters is no joke, man. And you may not remember, but do you remember, aside from Jacare, who was teaching there at the time?
no, I don't remember.
You know, like, what year was it?
This was like 3 years ago.
3 years ago. So it was probably still, it's either Lucas Lepre or Leo Noguera, one of the two.
Mm-hmm.
They've always got some stud teaching,
Yeah.
which is the cool thing about Alliance headquarters.
Yeah,
is,
it was. I mean, their gym was super nice too. They had
Yeah.
like they even had some bags hanging on the side, and man, it was packed every single time.
man, I used to, like, before, I don't know, probably all the way up through purple belt, like, we would go down there and train, and it used to terrify me, man. It used to terrify me because, you know, like, I didn't really hit a good competitive stride till brown belt. Like, I felt like I had skill, but I'd still get my ass kicked. You know?
Right.
And so these guys were like, you know, you go down there and there's Alec Balding. I'm not sure if you know that guy. He's a real good black belt. And at the time, Cabrinha was there, and like all his students, Jordan Schultz, who went to Lloyd Irvin after that.
Okay.
And I think he actually is in jail now. But a lot of really high level guys there, right? And it would just, man, no matter how much I went, I'd step on that mat and my heart would just beat so fast. Like, these guys are about to fuck me up, you know?
From when you started training to, you said at brown belt, you started figuring out, what changed in your game?
So I think for me, it was the competitive mindset.
Okay.
Right? Like, all the way up through purple belt and most of my brown belt career too is I would always get it in my head that the guys at the tournaments were better than me, right? Like, I'd see the guy with like all the patches all over his gi. He looked like a NASCAR driver, you know, a mohawk or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'd look at him and go, he's obviously good. You know,
Right.
he's better than me. He, you know, whatever. And then I would kind of confirm that. Like, as soon as the match would start, if I felt like the guy was strong, I'm like, oh shit, he's strong, you know, or, oh man, he's moving really good. Okay. And then it would just be like a downhill spiral after that, you know, because now I'm thinking about how good that guy is.
And how old were you when you got your brown belt?
So brown belt, so I got my black belt when I was 31. So brown belt probably 28.
Okay, that's what I was wondering, because the mindset, because I would assume, because I don't know, but when you're already at that age, you're a brown belt and you're young, I would think confidence is the thing that makes you just want to keep like attacking and thinking you are the best at some point.
And that's what I didn't have. Okay. So I always thought there was, you know, that I was going to run into somebody at the tournament that was just better than me or stronger or fat, you know, whatever. And like I said, I would kind of trick myself into believing that, you know, as soon as I would feel the guy's grips or he would put a little bit of pressure on my guard, I would start to fold, you know. And honestly, I don't know what it was that changed. I had a couple good tournaments where I just felt like, and, you know, my training was going well. You know, like I was training with a lot of good guys. And at this time, Lucas Lepre had moved within an hour of us. And I would train with him. And I wouldn't do very well against him. He'd kick my ass, right? But at least, I could learn from him and train well with his students and things like this. And so then I just started thinking, you know what, fuck that. Like, I'm good.
Yeah.
Okay? And so instead of thinking about in those first few moments of the match, like, oh, he's strong or something like that, I would say, I'm strong. Or, you know, I'm good. You know, and then I just started to impose my will. And man, I had a really good run at brown belt.
Yeah.
I would win, you know, like double gold at a lot of tournaments, and especially my last year at brown belt, I had a really good run where I don't remember how many matches I lost, but it wasn't many.
Right.
I won a whole lot more than I lost. Of course, then I got my black belt, and it was like starting all the way over again. You know, like I'm at the bottom of the pool.
Did you ever compete against some of these guys that you've seen, like purple belt, brown belt, black belt?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
you keep running into them and you...
Oh yeah, I got a couple guys. In fact, one of my teammates, his name is C. Doan, really good. And it's crazy, man. He's still a brown belt. He's been a brown belt for like 8 years, right? Or not 8 years, probably 5 years.
Okay.
He's a Jacare guy, very good jiu-jitsu guy. But man, he and we probably competed against each other like 15, 16 times, right?
Damn it.
Yeah, and it's funny, man, because the first few times, probably the first 5 times, he would beat me, right? And then around purple belt, maybe early brown belt, I started beating him, and now he couldn't get me.
You started
right?
taking the lead on
that
that
I
race.
started getting the lead on him, and man, I feel bad for the guy. It's like, I think Jacare's got something against him, because he's obviously a black belt. He's been a brown belt forever.
Yeah.
Trains consistently, competes all the time, and it's just like they won't give him his black belt.
Man, I'm kind of upset. I always talk to a lot of my friends. I'm kind of obsessed with the mindset of like going to competition, because now that I'm older, I would ask my younger friends, I go, what are you thinking going into the competition? Because I've lost something that used to make me drive. You know, I'm like, I don't know what it is. And my jiu-jitsu is way better now than it ever was, but I don't have that, I don't know how to say it, the aggression, I guess.
Yeah. So, you know what, man? Like, how old are you, by the way?
I'm 39.
39.
I'm going to be 39.
Spring chicken. All right. So, man, like for me, and this is where I think I differ from some competitors, not all obviously, but some competitors is, man, like when I go to a tournament or a competition, I don't have like that aggression, you know, that I'm going to kill this guy or something like that, you know, or I don't have to get mad or work myself up or anything like that. In fact, you know, it sounds corny, but I just try to have fun, man.
Yeah.
Like if you watch a lot of my matches, I'll actually make a point to like look and smile at the
I've seen
camera
it,
or talk to my guy's coach, you know.
Yeah, it's
like
entertaining.
So like I feel like this takes the pressure off and it makes me feel, you know, perform better.
Right.
You know, at the end of the day, we're doing jiu-jitsu, right?
Yeah.
Like the guy's not going to not KO me or anything like
Exactly.
this. So, you know, I feel like the less pressure is on me, the easier it is for me to compete. And if I'm having fun and smiling, like, man, I'm going to let my jiu-jitsu flow. Right. So I do. And in fact, I try to make a point to like actually talk to my opponent's coaches, right? Like if I hear them saying something to their guy, like I'll answer back.
Yeah.
You know? A good example is when I fought, who's now a good buddy of mine, Colo Vita.
Colo's a cool dude.
Yeah,
man.
Colo's a good guy, man. But at the first time we fought at the Fight to Win, he actually had a pretty good knee bar attempt on me, but he switched it for a toe hold, right?
Okay.
And when he did that, I was able to straighten my leg, and he couldn't put any torque on the foot. Well, Kurt Osiander's in his corner, right? And I can hear Kurt yelling at him like, you know, the footlock's not working, you know, go to something else. And I turned to him and it's like, you're right, Kurt, it's not working, you know, and he kind of laughed at me and I laughed at him. And so just from that moment on, man, I just felt instantly more comfortable. Right. And like, okay, now I'm just going to have fun.
Man, that's so cool that you can do that. I mean, because, I mean, we're totally different spectrums, but when I step on the mat, I'm like, I almost like have an emptiness. Like, I don't care no more, but I'm having more fun now.
Sure.
It might not show because I'm just all straight faced, but I'm trying stuff that I've been working on.
That's actually a good strategy, though. You know, if I'm not joking around, you know, like during the match, I try to keep my face like completely expressionless. Yeah. You know, like one, because your opponent's feed off of it. You know, like I think if you're laughing or smiling, it kind of deteriorates their confidence. You know? But if you have no expression at all, it does the same, man. Like, you know, the guy's trying so hard to sweep you or trying so hard to take you down, and you just, there's no expression, there's no emotion. You know, the guy, I feel it start to break them a little bit, you know, or at least it helps. Yeah,
man. I just want to say, dude, you at the Fight to Win, man. You are entertaining, man.
Thank you,
I mean,
thank you.
It's like, dude, like I'm telling you, when I first like, who is this dude, man? This is crazy, man.
I like to have fun with it, man. And you know, I really like that format. Fight to Win is my favorite.
Yeah, right? You've been even in South Carolina. You're on them. Yeah, so I went back and started looking like, man, this guy's been at all the big events.
6 of them now. I think they're kind of upset with me right now at the moment. Yeah, because I judged against old Yamaso. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's just my conspiracy theory. I won't get too deep into that.
Yeah, but there is a bunch of conspiracy theories about. That's about it.
Because they like him, man. And you know, I like him too. But in my opinion, he didn't win the match, and I was one of the judges. So
it is what it is.
It is what it is. What are you gonna do?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So now you just did a Submission Pro Tour Elite 3. Was it 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
Did you like that one?
It was good, man. I think you know, they did a good job. I mean, obviously, it's a promotion standpoint. They have to grow some.
Yeah.
You know, like they're still small.
But it was cool. I mean, I liked
cool.
it that you and Colo were the main event. I like, oh man, they're gonna run it back. Cause, you know, like I said, I like Colo. I like you. I'm like, man, that's a good main event.
I felt like it was a good matchup both times. You know, he's a tough guy. He's you know, Half Gracie guy. So. Good, solid fundamentals, hard guy to catch. Like I remember when I went against him that first time, man, I was throwing all kinds of stuff at him, and I just couldn't get him. You know, I couldn't find an opening. The guy just has really good, solid fundamentals and defense. And this time I got, you know, honest to God, I think I got a little lucky with that Darce that I hit him with this last time. He turned and was actually trying to recover his guard, and I felt like I kind of just fell on it. You know, like I did not plan to Darce. You know, it's just all of a sudden my arm was in the right spot, and it was like things just kind of came together.
Muscle memory.
Yeah, man. Honestly, I think it was just luck, dude. I really do. Like it was just how he moved and I moved, and there it was. And I just all I had to do was close my hands. You know. Yeah,
I did like that show. I thought it was interesting. You know, in the middle of the day, the bleacher seating. And I'm like, man, and the crowd was really into it. Yeah. I was like, man, this crowd is really into that.
I tell you what, man, I really liked how they did it in the middle of the day.
Yeah.
Man, because I'm kind of selfish when it comes to my Saturdays. You know, like, I love Fight to Win, don't get me wrong, right? But, you know, when you go do a Fight to Win or something like that, like, you're going to be there till 10, 11 o'clock at night, right? And then, you know, so I got out of there at, what, like, 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
Something like that.
And by 5 o'clock, I was already done.
Oh, man.
I had too many beers. Yeah. I was like, man, now I'm day drunk. What the hell's good out here?
It was awesome, man. I got to go home and take my dogs to the dog park, hang out with the family, you know. So it because it was an awesome day. I did enjoy their promotion. They did a good job. I think if they got some better speakers, it would really kick it up.
Yeah, I mean, they're growing, and
they are.
And the people that run it, they're really,
right?
that's their third one, and those guys are on it. Those guys are on it right
man,
now.
for a third one, that was awesome.
Yeah.
Like I said, just saying that they have to grow is not a criticism.
Right, no, it's not.
They're brand new.
Yeah.
And
they're selling out.
Yeah, man, and that's the cool part. So, they get to pay their athletes well. You know what I mean? I got something like $500 for a match. So
not bad at all.
Coming from the old school jiu-jitsu where you don't get paid anything,
no, you're paying to do
you're paying $100
right.
$120 to compete. That's awesome for me.
That is cool.
Shit, I'd take $40 to compete. I'll take it.
Yep. So now I want to talk a little about your teaching. So when you came down here and you have pretty much introduced to a bunch of new students.
Yeah.
How was that when? How did they take to you?
Man, so honestly, I got lucky. Okay, well, I don't know about lucky, but the people that I have are really good. I have a lot of good students, a lot of consistent students. When I first came here, so give you a little backstory. So my girlfriend is Sarah McMahon. She came here to train with Uriah Faber, and she moved about 2 or 3 months before I did. Okay, so I drove her out here from South Carolina. The drive sucks. Don't ever do it. It took us 3 days, 4 days really. We drove out here and, we met Uriah and stayed at his house the first night we were here. And, Uriah had never met me in his life before. Within 10 minutes of knowing him, he asked me, "Are you going to move?" And I said, "I'm trying to, but I'm a jiu-jitsu instructor and I don't have a job. It's hard to find a jiu-jitsu job." And he's like, "You a black belt?" I said, "Yes, sir." He said, "You're hired."
Wow.
So within 5-10 minutes of knowing the guy, he's got me hooked up with a full-time job teaching jiu-jitsu.
Incredible.
Yeah. And so he plugged me into his UFC gym out here in Rocklin. And, I had the same kind of thoughts about the UFC gym, the stereotypes, that it's just, and it is a corporate gym, right?
Yeah.
And it's a little bit different atmosphere than your normal sweatbox jiu-jitsu gym, right? That I came up in. But man, they changed my mind. It's a great place.
Oh yeah, and I see a lot of because I go to a lot of the local tournaments and the venues, and you have guys out there that are actually putting it out there.
Sure.
They're fighting.
Sure.
And I mean, people. I'm sure it's not the same everywhere, but one thing is you can't criticize that because those guys are on the mats, putting in their time, and they're fighting.
Yeah. So what I give them praise for, the UFC Gym organization, is they have given me license to run my program the way I see fit. Nice. Right. So they trust me as the black belt to teach my students what I think they need to know. Now, obviously, there's some guidelines. We have an association with them. I think Marcus Tinguina, I think is how you say his name. Is like the head of the UFC gym overall jiu-jitsu, right? So they have like guidelines of how the class should be run and certain things that the students need to know and all these things. But, as far as running a program, they leave that, I have complete freedom, right? So basically I'm importing Alliance Jiu-Jitsu to the Rocklin UFC gym, here, right? So my students are really taking that to that well.
Well, I mean, if they even know jiu-jitsu and they see who your instructor is, I mean, they got to take pride in that.
Yeah.
Like, come on, because I've seen other gyms with instructor like, who?
Yeah.
Where?
Yeah. I tell them they're Alliance by proxy. Yeah. Right? Like, you guys train at the UFC gym, you wear that patch, but, underneath your Alliance.
Yeah,
right?
they have a lineage.
Yeah.
That's where it comes from you. That's great.
Yeah. And so, man, I really do. I have a lot of, surprisingly, because you don't see this a lot in jiu-jitsu, especially in new programs, I have a lot of very consistent people. I've got a core group of guys, like a big core group of guys who's there 5 days a week, every single day, don't miss a day. And man, it's crazy how, like in a year, when I first started there, I think when I took that program over, there were 2 blue belts and 2 purple belts. Okay. And in the last couple months, I think I've promoted 10 new blue belts, 4 new purple belts, 2 or 4, somewhere 2 to 4 new purple belts, and I'm about to give out a brown belt. But man, my guys are just taking off, and it's great.
Wow, that's
great.
Crazy.
Like they really are accepting what I'm teaching them.
That's cool.
And so that makes me feel good.
Blows
my head up a little bit.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah. And then you go back and teach at Uriah's gym.
Yeah. So I'm the early morning guy at Uriah Faber's Ultimate Fitness. I got to get up out of bed at 5 o'clock in the morning and teach jiu-jitsu. And
what does the morning class over there look like?
A bunch of tired dudes. Right? No, it's. It's usually, they're smaller classes. They're probably, on average, 10 to 20 guys, mostly professionals. They're getting it in before they go to work, things like this. And I teach the Monday and Wednesday 6 a.m. class, and then I teach the Saturday, Sunday class. And so it's good, man. I got a good group of guys over there. That's not really where my focus is. Like, obviously, I give it my all when I teach there,
Yeah.
right? I basically show the same things that I'm showing at my gym, but I focus more on the other gym,
Yeah.
right? Because Dustin Akbari is the head of jiu-jitsu there, and Chris Holdsworth. So I just kind of don't step on their toes much.
Yeah.
You know, let them run their program, and I just
Man, but between you three, god dang,
yeah,
man,
it's a good group, man. I don't know if you ever rolled with Holdsworth before.
No, I
but
haven't.
that guy's slick.
I've heard.
He's slick.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
real
Dustin's
slick.
actually a Casio guy.
Yeah,
Casio black belt guy. So man.
Yeah. A lot of you guys here. A lot of Casio guys.
Oh yeah, Casio,
Yeah.
man.
Old school, cool Casio, man. He's always been one of my heroes, you know.
That dude is so incredible. He just got
Yeah.
robbed here. Out
Yeah,
of
I was there for that
gold.
one.
Oh.
Luckily, I can say I was not to blame for that
Oh
one.
no,
I did not
that
judge
tournament.
that one.
Talking about the Master Worlds.
Oh, okay,
yeah, he
okay.
won his first 4 matches, all sub. Maybe I don't think one match went past 3 minutes.
Yeah.
And then the last match, it went to a decision, and Casio ended that match with a pretty deep omoplata. And he won the match before that, I believe, with the omoplata, new tap from
Yeah.
omoplata. So this one ended like that, and the referee gave it to the other guy. So I'm like, man, what the
In
hell?
a submission, and you give the referee decision to the other
Yeah,
guy.
that's horrible, man.
Man, unfortunately, that's just part of the game.
Yeah, that
man.
is, you know,
especially with IBJJF, you know,
Exactly.
those referee decisions.
That's exactly. So
You know.
the difference, okay, have you ever came to California before moving
So
over?
yeah, never Sacramento, never Northern California. Okay,
Yeah.
I've competed at the Worlds a bunch, so you know I've been to LA a bunch of times. That's it, man. You
Yeah.
know, I would just come out here for jiu-jitsu tournaments. And,
What do you think of this area? Because, you know, I'm pretty new to the area,
Yeah.
too.
Okay, where are you from?
I'm originally from the Central Valley.
Oh, okay, cool,
So
cool.
I went from the Central Valley, I moved to Georgia, and then we moved back here, and I never really knew there was anything past Sacramento.
Yeah, yeah.
And then, so I was like, I don't know what's going on over here, you
Sure.
know? So when I moved here, I was looking for a place to train, seeing the Casio sign, I'm like, I'm going to stop it. I didn't think he'd be here.
Yeah.
I thought it was maybe just an affiliation school, you know?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, shit, he was right here. So I was like, kind of like, oh, man, what do
Yeah,
I
it's
do, you
awesome.
know? Yeah, so...
Yeah, he's an idol, man.
So since then, I've been here every day. But yeah, I mean, I do like this area a lot, but I didn't realize there was anything past Sacramento, you know?
So man, I really do like it. I'll tell you my pros and cons of
Okay.
it. Okay, is you know the city of Sacramento itself. To me, it's not much. You know, it's nothing special. I'm not really a city guy anyway, but there's just not. You know, besides your restaurants and bars, there's not much going on.
Well, not
right?
like South Carolina downtowns.
No. But as far as what's around Sacramento, it's incredible.
Yeah.
Like somebody told me when I first moved here, they're like, Sacramento is the best place in the world to live if you want to drive somewhere else.
Yeah.
And that is absolutely true, man.
Yeah.
Like the first few months of being here, we went down to what's the big tree park? What's the one with the big trees?
I'm not sure.
Anyway, we've been to Yosemite.
Okay.
God, what's the name of that place? Sequoia
Okay.
National Park, right?
Right.
And you know, like I said, I'm a South Carolina boy,
Yeah.
man. We went in January, so it was I think 6 feet of snow on the ground. That's the most snow I've ever seen in my life, man. You know, so they got the world's biggest trees with
Yeah.
6 feet of snow. It was magical, man. You know, and then the Bay Area and all that, and so it's awesome, man. Like I really do like it here. The people are great. Okay, that's probably my favorite part is the people. Right?
Yeah, when I was in Georgia, my wife really liked the South. She loved it, you know. So when we were moving back to California, because we moved because of her job. So when we moved back to California, she was like, "I'm gonna miss the trees. I'm gonna miss the trees." And I'm like, "Well, we're gonna come over. We're gonna be lots of trees up here." So that made her happy when we moved over here to Roseville.
Yeah.
And we are still able to go out because she likes to go kayaking and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So we go out to the, I forget the name. It's not Folsom Lake. It's another little bar out there. So we go out there and go kayaking. But she likes the outdoor stuff, you know.
Yeah.
I kind of go along because I'm not the best swimmer. But
I hear you, man.
I try, man. I try.
I hear you, man. See, I'm an outdoorsy kind of guy, so like this place is incredible for me. You
Yeah.
know? Like South Carolina's a cool place for nature and stuff, but man, we got like little mountains, you know.
Yeah.
Like out here, you guys got these, you know, the Sierra Nevadas and Lake Tahoe. I mean, it's just crazy.
Well,
so.
shit, I was over there when I was in Atlanta and winter hit. There was a chance of snow and the whole city shut
shuts
down.
down, man.
I was like, shut.
Yeah.
What the hell is going
Oh,
on
yeah,
here?
dude,
So I
like,
was all scared because I didn't know what was happening.
half-inch of snow. The grocery
Yeah.
store gets mobbed. Like nobody goes anywhere. School shuts down. You don't go to work.
That was a trip to me. I was
It
like, what's
is.
going on
It's
here?
crazy, man. It's crazy. Yeah.
I did like it out there a lot, man. I
Yeah.
like the food. That's one thing I'll say. The food.
That was actually going to be one of my cons is there's no Zaxby's here.
Oh, yeah.
You've been
Yeah,
to Georgia.
yeah,
you know
yes,
about some
yeah.
Zaxby's there, right? Man, that was my Sunday ritual.
Damn it.
I'd go train on Sunday and then go get a big plate of chicken wings and chicken fingers from Zaxby's.
And I was a big Waffle House guy, man.
God.
Dude, that was like my favorite
That's
thing.
when you're drinking.
Yeah, you get in trouble out there at the Waffle Houses, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just go train in the morning, and when I got done training, because when I was out there, I didn't have a job, so I just
Sure.
trained. So I'd go in the morning, do a workout, go to Waffle House, go
Yeah.
to sleep, and then come back and train.
Yeah.
So I was like, man, I freaking love Waffle House.
Oh yeah, man, the All-Star Special, bro.
Hell yeah, dude. But to get what's that, cheese on loaded, fully
Oh
loaded?
yeah, oh yeah.
Oh, dude, that shit was
What is
great.
it? Scattered, covered in chunked hash
Yeah, that's
browns?
what it
Oh
is.
man, yeah. You're talking to a Southern boy, man.
Oh, yeah, man,
I
you get
grew
that
up-
city
grew
hammer
up
to
on
farmhand.
Waffle House. Yeah, yeah.
So another question people wanted me to ask you.
Yeah.
Because they, I see it too. You're really good at taking photography of stars
Sure,
and
sure,
everything.
yeah.
So they were asking me, what got you into that?
Okay.
Was it a good camera? Was it a good telescope?
Good story. Okay, so, and I think I got in a little trouble last time I told this. Sarah kind of came down on me about it, but man, I'm honest, dude. I'll tell you.
Yeah.
So, what got me into astrophotography or astronomy in general, because I'm kind of new to the photography part of it, but I've been into like stargazing and all that for a few years, is I was on a camping trip with a few friends of mine, and we were on top of a mountain, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, we had all ingested, let's say, poisonous fungus, right?
Oh, shoot.
So some mushrooms, okay?
Some enlightenment.
Yes. So my pupils were 3 times the size they should be, so
Okay.
I'm letting in a lot of light, right?
Yeah.
So we're out in the middle of nowhere on top of this mountain, and I see the Milky Way for the first time, right?
Okay.
First time in my life I see the Milky Way, and it just blew me away, right? So at the time, I used to play the drums, right? And at the time, I wanted to get back into playing the drums, but I decided, man, like, all right, I got this money to buy a drum kit, but would I rather buy a telescope? That was so cool seeing
Wow.
what I saw the other night. So I ended up buying a telescope, a little rinky-dink one, you know, and then ever since then, man.
Wow, that was a decision. You wanted to get back into music.
Yep.
But then that one night, I look at
Yeah, that changed
Wow.
me completely. I still would like to get back into music. Just don't have the money.
Wow.
And you know, drums are kind of hard to play when you live in a small house.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, man, I bought my first telescope, and man, I got addicted, like hardcore addicted. You know, like finding faint galaxies and planets and things like that. I started with visual astronomy. You know, I'd just go out and try to find things, right? And honestly, man, I think I got hooked because I was kind of like a white belt again, right?
Yeah.
Like I didn't know what I was doing. So every night that I went out, it was like this challenge. Like, okay, I'm gonna go try to find the Andromeda galaxy, right? That's 2.5 million light years from Earth.
So but what got you thinking about all this other stuff? Like just by looking, and then you started doing research to find out what was out there?
Yeah. So the first thing I did is I knew that with my little telescope, I could see the planets, right? I could see like Jupiter,
Yeah.
Saturn. So I started kind of getting good at that, finding out when they would be up, what time of year, like all, all that stuff. And then, just through reading, I would figure out like, okay, well, this galaxy or this nebula or whatever is available during this month. And it became fun to try to find them because, man, like you're talking about something. Let's take like one of the nebulas that I photographed recently, the Lagoon Nebula. This thing's like, a few 100,000 light years from Earth, right? And as far as you're concerned, it's the size of a pinhead, okay?
Yeah.
And you got to find it up amongst all these stars, right?
You're panning for gold.
Yes. So like that kind of search and reward of finding it became very addictive to me. And a lot of times I failed.
Yeah.
Like, I still fail a lot, man. Like you can ask Sarah or the little girl sitting over here, like how many times do I go out at night, Bella, and come home defeated? A lot, right? So it is. It's like you put a lot of work into trying to find these things that you want to image, and man, a lot of times you don't find it, right? And
Yeah.
it'll take me a couple months to find a target, right? So it's a mental challenge. You know, you gotta trace the constellations and figure out exactly where
Damn.
it is and find it, and then your conditions have to be right. It's got to be good weather, no moon in the sky.
So you're looking at the weather.
Yeah,
Constantly.
all the time, right? And then you have to drive. So obviously with the city light pollution, you can't
Yeah.
do it from the backyard. I drive 30, 45 minutes every time I want to do it just to get away from the light pollution. And then one thing led to another where I wanted to share it with people.
Yeah.
And
I share what you share.
Thank you,
I
sir.
show
Thank
my
you,
buddies,
sir.
I'm like, man, you gotta look at this.
Yeah, thank you. And I'm getting better at it. I kind of, it's an ongoing process. But I wanted to share it with people. And initially, what I would do is when I was living back in South Carolina, I used to have a huge telescope. It was a 14-inch reflector. It was like taller than me, right? It's a big thing. And what I would do is I would put out a Facebook post, and I'd say, hey guys, I'm going to be at this location all night. Come by and have a beer with me and look through the telescope, right? And some people would filter in, they would love it, and think it was cool. But like it would only be a few people, right? And it would be usually my friends, right?
Yeah.
So eventually I wanted to get into the photography side of it, right? So I could share it without you having to come out at 2:00 in the morning
Yeah.
out to the country, So I sold the big telescope and got a smaller one that can track and do all the computerized stuff and bought the cameras, and man, you want to talk about a learning process.
Well, yeah, that's like, how do you get all that set up to actually get a good? It's like you're layering pieces on pieces.
Oh man, it's a really complicated process, but it's fun, man. Again, it's like I'm a white belt all over again, right?
My
like
nose would be bleeding trying to put that stuff together.
Man, it's really interesting. So I won't get into like the big specifics of it or like too detailed, but I'll kind of give you the overall idea, right? It's like I have what's called an equatorial mount that my telescope sits on, right? And what this thing does, it lines up with the celestial North Pole.
Okay.
Right? So it's pointing the exact same direction that the Earth is rotating relative to the stars, okay? So you have to line it up with that celestial pole so that when you take a picture, that the stars don't move in your picture.
Right.
Okay? Your mount is going to follow the spinning of the Earth.
So the Earth is round?
The Earth is round, believe it or not,
okay.
man. And the Illuminati is, I guess, real shit. I don't know. But yeah, so the mount itself actually tracks the movement of the Earth, right? So because what you have to do is take long exposure photographs. You can't just take like your cell phone camera and snap a picture, okay? So what I do is I line it up with the rotation of the Earth, and then I have another telescope that rides on top of my telescope, okay? And what this thing, it's got a camera attached to it. And what its job is, it runs to my laptop, and it will pick one star in the sky, and it'll lock onto that star, and it'll make sure that my telescope doesn't move at all, okay? So it's tracking the Earth, but it's staying locked in place on that star,
Oh, that's
right?
a trip.
So then what I do is I have another camera connected to my actual telescope, right? This thing runs through some software, and once I've found my target for the night, which is extremely difficult, that's the hardest part, finding the target. But once I've found it, got everything in focus, as I'll start running maybe an hour to 2 hours worth of pictures, right? So I'll take, like, for example, if I do a galaxy, okay, I'll do, say, 20 pictures at 5 minutes each. Okay, so each shot is 5 minutes. You're trying to allow as much light in as you can, right? Because they're very faint, very far away.
Right.
So like when you look at it with your naked eye, it's just like a little smudge, okay? But if you let all that light build up on your camera sensor, it turns into a galaxy,
Wow,
right?
yeah, that's a
So then you
trip.
take all those 20 photos and you stack them on top of each other, okay? And this brings out all the detail.
So how long does that take to get that one picture?
So let's say I did Messier 33, which is the Triangulum galaxy, last week, and total imaging time, I think I spent 3 hours.
Holy shit.
Yeah, 3 hours with the camera shutter open.
Wow.
Yeah, in 5 minute chunks. So I'll do 5 minute picture, let the camera rest for 2 seconds, cool down, 5 minute picture. And so basically the whole time, once I've got this thing going, I'm just sitting in a lawn chair, in the pitch black dark,
Wow.
right? And then, after that, that's actually the easier part. Once you get all that, okay, and when you stack all those pictures together, then you have to edit it, okay, because you have like light pollution that seeps in, you have what's called coma, which is like the edge of your photo will kind of warp, okay? So you have to put these things in Photoshop and bring out the colors and the details and make sure that your sky background's the right color. So it's really interesting.
Dude, that's intense stuff, right, man?
It is, but it's fun.
Wow.
Now, here's where I get in trouble. Is it's expensive.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I just bought a camera last week that was a lot more than I should have ever spent on a camera, right?
Hey, but if it's something that you're into.
It is. But I got a baby on the way, so I'm getting a little bit of kickback from the old girlfriend on buying unnecessary stuff.
Yeah.
Which I understand,
Yeah.
but it is, man. I love it. I'm addicted to it, and I'm willing to go to the poorhouse to pursue it, right?
Yeah, dude, you're doing great with
I
great
appreciate
photos,
it,
man. I love them.
appreciate it. When I started, it was crap. Like I'd put a photo out and like I was proud of it.
So, sorry, how
good.
long ago was it when you started actually
The
getting
photography side of it?
not photography, just actually looking
Visual.
Yeah.
So I've been doing the visual stuff, like just trying to find and look at targets for about 4 years.
Okay.
Okay. Photography, I started in March.
Oh wow. That's,
Okay,
that's
so
real
I'm still
recent.
very new to it, right? And man, you see these guys that are pro, like the black belts at it, quote unquote black belts, like their stuff blows mine away.
So are you online studying how to get the perfect picture too?
Yes, yeah. So I do a lot of reading on forums, really watching a lot of YouTube tutorials, right? But a lot of it comes down to gear, man. Like the more money you have, the better quality you're gonna get, right? I'm getting there though, man. Like I said, I just bought a really nice CMOS camera, which is before I was using like a DSLR camera, just like the kind of camera you take on a family trip, things like that. But I've got one now that it's got a built-in cooler that'll cool the sensor down to minus 15 degrees,
Wow.
which takes out all the noise and atmospheric stuff. So
Holy
it's
crap,
really
man.
cool, man.
That's
And
crazy.
it's fun to learn about and fun to do.
That's
Yeah.
nuts.
I'll take you out one night, man. I'll
Yeah,
show you how
man,
to do
for
it.
sure. That's a trip, man.
Yeah. And just seeing it with your own eyes is
Yeah.
cool, man.
How far do you go to actually get a
So I'm right.
to get away from all the light?
So minimum I drive about 35 minutes. Okay, I go to a place called Nicholas, California. I'm not sure if you know where that
No,
is.
no.
It's just a little farm town. Okay, it's north. Like you go up towards, like you're going to Redding.
Okay.
And I basically just trespass on somebody's farm.
Yeah.
Right? So I just pull. I'm not really on their farm.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of on a little access road. But even then, that's not as dark as I would like it to be. Right. The less light you have, the better. Okay, because you're trying to catch photons that have traveled across space
Right.
for 20 million years. You know, like there's just not that many of them left
Yeah.
by the time they get here. You know. And to me, man, that's like what the coolest part about it is like the philosophical part of it is like, yeah, okay, the picture's cool, right?
Yeah.
When I put out a picture of a galaxy or a nebula, like, okay, it's pretty, right? But what is that, man? That's actually light that has traveled. Like, for example, that galaxy photo I posted last week, the Triangulum Galaxy, that thing's 3.5 million light years from Earth, right?
I can't wrap my head around
So
that.
those photons of light that made up that picture that hit my camera sensor started coming from that galaxy before human beings were on Earth.
Right.
So when like you kind of stop and think about that, you're like, man, I'm looking at this thing as it was 3 million years ago.
Exactly. That's what I would trip out
Yeah,
on.
oh,
when
dude,
you start
it
putting that
just-
kind of thought into it, like, is that even there anymore?
It's just crazy. It's just crazy. See, and then you think like, well, man, is somebody looking back? You know,
Yeah.
like, and in all likelihood they are. You know, you're talking about it, just that one galaxy. There's 100 to 200 billion other stars.
You ever see anything crazy in the sky?
So I've seen a couple things where I didn't quite know what they were, but nothing like crazy. I see a lot of satellites.
Yeah.
Right. A lot of satellites, lots of shooting stars, but no.
Hear that, Kron?
No, no UFOs, guys. The aliens have not come.
What was it Kron Gracie was saying? He don't believe in satellites.
Oh God. Yeah. Well, he's
That's funny.
he's got great jujitsu. I'll
Yeah,
just
he
say
does.
that.
Yeah, he
great
does.
jujitsu. Yeah, I'm kind of the anti-conspiracy theorist,
Yeah.
man. You know, you spend enough time looking up.
Yeah.
You know,
You just
like-
got to do the homework.
Yeah, you do your homework, right? Like people talk about UFOs. I'm like, man, do you know how far away the nearest star from Earth is?
Yeah.
And most people don't, right? The nearest star is 4 light years away from Earth. Okay, 4 light years. What is that? You know, light travels 670 million miles an hour. Right? That's a long way. So if you were to shoot a spaceship, let's say the Voyager spaceship, it's the fastest
Okay.
spaceship that mankind has ever launched. That thing goes 77,000 miles per hour, and it would take somewhere around the area of 120,000 years to get to the nearest star going that fast.
Yeah.
Right? That's an immense distance. So to say that like UFOs are like landing on Earth or things like this is just like, you got to be crazy.
Right.
You know, if we're going to make contact with aliens, it's going to be through radio or something like this. But
Yeah,
visiting,
that was one of the questions that one of the people
Not
asked me
much.
too.
Yeah.
They're like, ask about UFOs. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, I don't know if I really want to do that,
Yeah.
but because he's pretty serious about his photography.
yeah, but man, it's an interesting question. You know,
Yeah.
like obviously, I believe that there's life in the universe. You know?
Yeah.
Like I think it's impossible that there's not. But
Right.
are they visiting Earth? No.
Yeah.
No, they're not. It's too far away. We're kind of out in the boondocks, man. You know, like when you really think about the distances involved and what it would take to get there and how long it would take, you'd never get there.
Damn it.
You couldn't make it to the nearest star or the nearest planet in the next 100, 200 lifetimes. You
Right.
couldn't get there, you know, which is another mind-blowing fact. Like, you think about how big the universe is, right?
Yeah.
Man, it's just crazy.
There's too much shit going on out there, man.
Our nearest neighbor is so far away, you could never get there.
Damn
It's
it.
crazy.
Damn it. So, I'm gonna jump off this
Nah,
subject
go
because
ahead, man.
there
I
you
can
go.
talk about that all
So
night.
that's the problem.
Yeah.
I can listen all night because I'm like right thinking like
Yeah,
I
yeah.
gotta start doing my homework now.
Yeah.
Shit, I'm going deep. Yeah. So now that you're planted here
Yeah.
and you're in the competition scene, you're building a team. What's your next steps? You know, I mean, I know you have a baby on the way. So
I do. I got a
that's
baby on the way.
Priority.
Little baby boy due December 11th.
Congratulations, man.
Got a stepdaughter sitting right across the room here. She's a pain in my ass every day, but she's cool, man.
That's cool.
Good little gymnast. No, man, my long-term plan right now, man, like all my eggs are in that UFC gym basket.
Yeah.
Okay, that we're about to open a second location, which they're going to put me over that one too. So I'm going to have 2
Oh,
gyms.
shoot.
You know, I've actually started thinking about doing, going into business with this astronomy thing. I'm going to start doing like a Star Tours
You
thing up
should.
at Lake Tahoe.
Definitely should.
There's a lot of rich people up there that
Oh,
will
hell
pay
yeah.
lots of big bucks to have me out on their property with their telescope to show them and their kids things.
Yeah.
So that's kind of in the works. And then maybe years down the road, Sarah and I have talked about opening a gym, right? She's a professional fighter,
Right.
fights
Oh,
for
yeah.
UFC, Olympic silver medalist in wrestling. And then obviously, you know, I'm jiu-jitsu black belt and been teaching forever and competing. So we feel like we could do some damage, you know.
I
So,
believe you guys could do some
yeah.
great things.
The thing is, we wouldn't want to do it here, right?
Yeah.
We wouldn't want to step on either the gym that I'm teaching at now's toes or Uriah's toes,
Right.
right? So we would have to go. We've been talking about going a little further north, you know, not too far away. We like it here.
Yeah.
But that's kind of the idea. But right now, it's just getting ready for the baby, man, because
Yeah.
I'm terrified.
Oh man.
It'll be my first actual kid.
Oh, wow,
You know,
really?
I've been playing the role of stepdad for a little over a year, which has been fun.
Uh-huh.
But as far as like my own flesh and blood, it's the first one. So I don't know what to expect.
Dang it.
You know?
That's
You got any
good.
kids?
No, I don't have
No?
any kids.
All right.
I got a cat though.
Oh, okay. I got
It's
a
like a
cat,
kid.
2 dogs, and a snake too. Got a house full of them, man.
Damn it. So,
Yeah.
man, so you have a kid coming up, man. That's crazy.
It is crazy. It's crazy how life changes, man. Like
Yeah.
this time, so like I said, I've been here for almost a year. I moved here in October, right?
Right.
This time last year, I'm single, living in Greenville, South Carolina, living the bachelor life, right? A year later, I'm living across the country, about to be running 2 gyms, got a baby on the way, been a stepdad for a year. Like it's crazy,
Well,
man.
that shows that you're willing to go with the flow. You know,
Yeah,
a lot
yeah,
of
I'm
people
kinda that-
are
I'm
kind
kinda
of
that
just
way.
hold back. You know, well,
Yeah.
I'm kind of like that too. Like, well, not like that. I'm
Sure.
I'm more reserved. Like, I don't like to do things. My wife is the one that goes after everything.
Sure.
You know, so watching her go for everything kind of makes me want to try
Sure.
a little bit harder. You know,
Sure.
I mean,
Man, I'm in the same
she
boat.
leads by
That's-
example, I guess. You
That's
know?
what I'm doing here, man.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm kind of the guy, like I'll jump on opportunities, but I'm very, I guess you'd say calculated in the
Yeah.
ones I do, right? So like, I tend to pass up more opportunities than I take,
Right.
right? This one came along because I started dating Sarah, okay, and we kind of knew it was right, you know,
Yeah.
like we clicked immediately. It was good, you know, but we started dating already knowing that she was moving here,
Wow.
right? And it was kind of crazy how that worked out too, man, because we kind of, like going into it, we both were kind of known for ghosting people, right? Like I would date a lot of girls,
Yeah.
right? But never call them back. You know,
Yeah.
I was kind of that guy. I wasn't dogging them, you know,
Right.
but just, you know, I wouldn't commit,
Yeah.
right? And I think she kind of was doing not the same, but similar, right? Like she was more on the single side of things, like
Yeah.
living the single life, right? And so we both kind of had this comfortable agreement that, hey man, we'll go on a couple dates, we'll see how it works out, but hey, you're moving to California in a couple months. Let's just have fun.
Yeah.
You know, if it works, it works. If it doesn't, we tried, you know. Well, it turned out it worked, right?
Wow.
So that kind of relaxed atmosphere, I think, really made it easy for me to do that, right? And then, you know, moving her out here and Uriah offering me the job, man, it just, I couldn't turn it down.
Yeah.
I couldn't turn it down, man. I was like, I've always wanted to run a school. Like I was teaching back home too, but there was kind of a ceiling, right? I was
Yeah.
under my professor who I love, man. It's my best friend in the world. Great guy. I miss him every day, right? But he's not going anywhere, right? He's the head instructor. So either I got to open my own gym there in South Carolina or I got to go somewhere else, okay? And I had a bunch of different offers. Like I had a guy offer me a gym in Wasilla, Alaska. I had one in some
Wow.
podunk town in Alabama, you know. I forget the name of the town in Alabama, but they had like a nuclear disaster there or
Oh,
some
shit,
shit. Like
dude.
people were dying of cancer. I'm like, no thanks, guys. But I had a bunch of offers that I turned down, right? But when this one came along, I'm like, man, I'm going to a place where jiu-jitsu's huge. The market's good for it. I'm plugged in with, you know, one of the biggest names in UFC, you know,
Right.
things like that. Like, how could I miss?
Exactly,
Man,
man.
and it's just turned out great. I struggled for the first few months, you know, wasn't getting paid a lot, but man, things have turned around.
It's crazy. I mean, taking those risks you just need to do
Yeah.
sometimes, you know. And,
Yeah.
man, and for you, it's working out good. I see it, man. And
Yeah, thank God.
Yeah, man.
Because it could have backfired easy.
And you're working, man. That's the
Oh,
thing,
yeah.
man. You're
Yeah, I'm teaching 7 days a
competing,
week,
teaching.
competing, training, you know, trying to keep the girlfriend happy.
There you go.
And then
Yeah.
she, you know, she travels a lot. That's why
Yeah.
my stepdaughter Bella is here with us tonight, you know, because Sarah's out of town, so I'm running her back and forth to gymnastics and, you know, trying
That's
to play
so
the
cool,
dad
though.
thing.
That is so cool, man.
It's tiring, you know,
Well, you
but
know
it's
what?
good. It's awesome. It's an awesome
Well,
life, man.
every time I've seen you before, you've
Yeah.
always been happy. You always
Yeah.
like, and you're busy. And, you know, I
Yeah.
mean, I've even stopped like, hey, how's it going? Just to talk to you, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
And you're just like, hey, how's it going? You know,
Yeah,
it's like, man,
Yeah.
you're such a cool dude, man. And
I feel like I'm a happy dude, man.
Yeah.
You know, what's to be pissed about,
Yeah.
right? We're alive.
Yeah.
You know, we won the lottery of life, bro.
that's
You
it,
know?
man. That's the truth. I
You
wish
really-
more people seen it like
Man,
that.
a lot of people don't, man. And, you know, obviously I got my bad days too, right?
Yeah.
I'm sure you do too.
Oh, yeah.
But, man, if you put it in perspective, like, man, you were that sperm that won out, right? Like, you're not even really supposed to be here.
Right.
You know, like how many, I forget, there's like somebody ran the numbers on it, you know, but it's like something 1 in a trillion chance that you're even here.
Right.
You know, like, man, be happy. And you're going to be dead soon.
There you
You
go.
know, like, man, you're 39, I'm 33. Like, how long does it feel like you were 16 yesterday?
Yeah, exactly. Right? I still feel like I'm 16 at
I
times.
do too. I do too. But man, like for real, I feel like I was 16 yesterday.
Yeah.
You know, now I'm got a kid on the way. I'm 30, going on 34. You know, like, man, if those years went by that fast, you know, and you know how it is when you're a kid. Like 1 year seems like forever, right? If those went by that fast,
Yeah.
how fast are the next 30 gonna go?
I know. I'm worried about that. The next 30.
The next 30, man, it's gonna go.
Yeah.
Before you know it.
That's why I need to get on these mats more, man.
Yeah.
I'm trying to make it for lost time, man.
Yeah,
I'm trying my best.
actually doing the same, man. You know, I didn't start until I was 22, so I'm kind of an old black belt.
Yeah.
You know, which is weird to say a 33-year-old guy is an old black belt, but hey, man, that's Master 1.
Yeah,
You know.
I started training pure jiu-jitsu at 27, I think.
Nice.
And man, I wish I would have went back, and I wish I didn't slack.
Yeah.
You know, I wish I would have been more persistent on the journey. You know, now I'm trying to make up for lost time.
That's one thing I've been really lucky about is like I've never taken a substantial amount of time off. You know, I've had injuries and things like that, but nothing that's kept me away for too long. You know, more than a month or so.
Well, how can you get injured when you have the dexterity of, you know, like what the hell, man? I see it.
You know what's funny, man, is that's actually how I get injured the most. Is I'll kick myself in the face, and I'm a flexible guy. I'll kick myself in the face, or you know, pull my groin, or things like this. You know, but I usually end up kicking other people. My coach used to get so mad at me, man. Bless his heart, man. His name's Rafael Hosendo. I'm actually trying to get him out here for a seminar. But our styles kind of clash, man. Like, you've seen how I play my guard.
Yeah.
My feet are everywhere, right?
And he's pressure.
And he's a head forward, kind of low pressure passer.
Yeah.
So every single day he's walking out of there with bruises on his face and bloody lips and knots on his head. And he'd get so mad at me. But I'm like, man, you're trying to pass my guard, bro.
Well, there's a guy I roll with in here. His name is Victor, and he's flexible, man. This guy, I mean, I stack him, and his knees are past his head, and he don't care. And then his heel come up and smack me in the face. And I'm like, God, dude, this is like the worst. It's fun. It's so fun, but it's like, man, I get more injured, and you're not even trying to hurt me.
Yeah. Man, the secret to passing those guards too, man, is all the hips.
Yeah.
Got to kill their hips. People focus on the legs, man, and you focus on the legs on a flexible guy.
Yeah.
You won't get by.
Yeah, I could kind of hold him out a little bit, but man, once he recovers so good, you know, he has good recovery, and the legs are always in play. It's like, damn it. Well, you know what, Chad, we're almost an hour in, and you know, I really want to thank you for doing this, man. I appreciate it.
I appreciate it too.
You know,
I feel like a celebrity, bro.
Dude, you are a celebrity, man. Since you've been here, people have been watching.
Yeah,
so,
I appreciate that, man. It makes me happy.
Yeah, man. I look forward to seeing you compete. How can people get a hold of you if they want to see your photos?
So if you guys want, I'm C Bingham BJJ, and on Instagram that's CBingham BJJ on Instagram, or you know, just Chad Bingham on Facebook. Man, hit me up, give me a call.
Yeah, look, you get some good drilling techniques and some great photos of what's going on in space, man. So
check me out, guys.
Yes, sir. So thank you once again, Chad. Appreciate it. All right, guys, we're out. See you next time.
Pete.
Today's podcast is brought to you by Royal Star Inc. Custom T-shirts. Hey, guys, do you ever go out looking for T-shirts, but you can't find what you want? Or maybe you have an idea of something you want to put on the T-shirt? Or does your team not look like a team because you guys are wearing old logos, mismatching, different colors? That's not a good look. But Rudy at Royal Star Inc. got you covered. Hit them up for quality T-shirts, custom designs, fast turnarounds. They look great. They feel great. For sure, you've seen me rocking their gear before, and I'm going to tell you some of the best stuff I have. Follow them on Instagram at Royal Star Inc. Improving our world by improving our community, by improving ourselves. The mission at Redneck Family Jiu-Jitsu is simple yet global in the scope. They provide world-class instruction in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and a fun, family-friendly environment. They want to help every student reach their full potential both as an individual and a contributing member to society. It's a fun place, so guys, if you want to get in shape, if you want to challenge yourself, bring your family in, bring your friends in. We'll see you there. Redneck Family Jiu-Jitsu, located at 1801 Kaler Road, Suite 10, right next to In-N-Out. Call 916-771-0525. Ask for Darren. Inspiring musician, future podcasters. If you're looking to jump into this business, look no further than Tony Edelman at the Mystery School Podcast. For your editing, mixing, and mastering needs, get your sound right. He has a cool podcast too, guys, so give it a check. So if you really want to do this and you're looking for the right sound, Tony is the man. Hit him up on Instagram at the Mystery School Podcast. Tell him Mitchell sent you.